Hey guys, today I'm going to be predicting the scores of week 44 of this 2021-2022 championship season. But as always, before we get on to this week's predictions, let's have a quick look back at how well we got on in week 43. So last week with 14 points, Shane O'Donnell came away with the top score. Just a one perfect score though, but congratulations on that score, Shane. Myself, I came away with 9 points and one perfect score. So how does that affect the overall predictions leaderboard now? Well, Shane O'Donnell still leads the way with 357 points. Myself, I've moved up to second place now. Same points as Doug on 340 points, but I've got one more perfect score than him. Then comes Ferris 77 on 330 points and Mark Chapman on 318 points. But that's enough of last week. Let's just crack on and make some predictions for week 44. So in this game, week 44, we've got 16 fixtures to predict. Games taking place on Friday the 22nd of April all the way through to Wednesday the 27th of April. So first up on Friday evening, we've got Huddersfield coming up against Barnsley. Huddersfield currently in third position in the table. A good win last time out away against Middlesbrough, and Barnsley find themselves at the bottom of the table, now relegated to Division 1, only one win in their last 6. So I fancy a straightforward Huddersfield victory in this one. I'm going to go for 2-0. Then we've got Luton Town coming up against Blackpool. Now, Luton, under the stewardship of Nathan Jones, have had a really good season this term. Last time out, they beat Cardiff City at the Cardiff City Stadium 1-0 with a depleted side, and although they were lucky to come away, you could say, with a win, they did do very well there. Blackpool currently in 16th position and winning last time out for the first time in 6 matches against Birmingham 6-1. So not sure who to go with this one. I'm going to sit on the fence, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. Then we got Birmingham coming up against Millwall. As I just said, Birmingham suffering defeat in the last match 6-1, and if the points deductions for the likes of Reading and Derby hadn't taken place, then it would have been Birmingham plying their trade next season in Division 1. But there were points deductions, of course. Millwall, solid season, find themselves in 7th position, so they could actually push for those playoff berths themselves, and I think they will come away with a positive result here in Birmingham. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to Millwall. Then we've got Derby coming up against Bristol City. Derby, another team going to be playing their matches next season in Division 1, coming up against Bristol City's side, who find themselves in 18th position with only one victory in their last 6 matches. So I fancy Derby in this one. I'm going to go for, at home especially, so I'm going to go for a Derby 2, Bristol City 0 scoreline. Then we've got Hull coming up against Reading. I think this one will end up all squared. Reading looks like they will survive. Only Peterborough can catch them, and I think they'll go away to Hull and grind out a 1-1 draw. Then we've got Peterborough coming up a bit against Nottingham Forest. Peterborough really need to win this match to stand any chance of surviving and playing their matches next season in the Championship. But I think Nottingham Forest, way too strong. They're on a great run of 5 wins in their last 6 fixtures, so I'm going to go for a 3-0 away victory to Nottingham Forest. Then we've got Sheffield United coming up against Cardiff City. Sheffield United currently in the last of those playoff berths, haven't won in the last 3 matches, and Cardiff City can't really get any sort of rhythm or form going at the moment, losing the last 2 matches. But I fancy the Bluebirds to gain something out of this match. They weren't too bad against Luton, and I can see this one ended up 1-1. Then we've got Stoke coming up against QPR. QPR has designs on the playoffs, but only 1 win in their last 6 now. And Stoke City, 4 wins in their last 6. Last time out, they had a fine away victory against Blackburn Rovers. So I fancy Stoke in this one at home, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to the Potters. Then we've got Swansea coming up against Middlesbrough. Not sure what you're going to get with Swansea, currently in 13th position. Haven't lost actually in their last 6 matches. I don't think they'll lose this one either, but Middlesbrough themselves really need to push towards the playoffs, so they need to get something out of this match, and I think they will, even though they've lost 3 of their last 4 matches. I think fancy a draw in this one, 1-1. Then we've got West Brom coming up against Coventry. Now Coventry find themselves in 11th position, lost at home against Bournemouth last time out, but prior to that they did gain victories against Birmingham and Fulham, and I fancy them to get a victory here at West Brom, who are currently just the one place below them, and I think Coventry will come away with a 2-1 victory. Then we've got Preston coming up against Blackburn. Blackburn, their sort of form is dipping off at the moment in the Championship. Don't look like to me that they're going to get into those playoff places, losing last time out against Stoke City at home. So I fancy Preston to grind out a 1-0 victory at home. Then we move on to Tuesday, where we got Barnsley coming up against Blackpool. Barnsley already down. It's just pride that they got to play for now, but I fancy Blackpool to come away with a 2-1 win here. Then we've got Fulham coming up against Nottingham Forest. A real exciting match, this one. Fulham full of goals, with Mitrovic scoring something like 40 goals this semester, but I think Nottingham Forest will do well at Craven Cottage, and I think this is going to end up with Desmond, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 scoreline. Then we got Swansea coming up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth may find it a little bit tricky at the Swansea City Stadium, or whatever they call it these days. It was called the Liberty, but who knows what they call it down there at Swansea land. I fancy Bournemouth, the Cherries, to come away with a 2-1 victory. And the final fixture of this game week takes place at Middlesbrough, between Middlesbrough and Cardiff City. I think a midweek match, a long way from home. Cardiff City, possibly on the beach. Middlesbrough need to win this match, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Middlesbrough in this final fixture of game week 44. So that concludes my predictions for game week 44. A whole host of matches to look forward to next week. Make sure you leave your predictions in the comment section, and I'll total them up and see if you can rise up the predictions lead. Let's see if we can all catch up with Shane O'Donnell as these games run out. But for now, I'll bid you all farewell, and I'll see you all in the next video.